day geometry, we are going on to PO19, which talks more in depth about those corresponding alternate interior, alternate exterior, consecutive interior angle relationships. Only now we see their applications. Okay, we are shifting to rather than just a transversal and two lines, it's going to be a transversal specifically with two parallel lines. Because when you have parallel lines with a transversal, you get a whole bunch of cool relationships. Okay, but first of all, let's just remind ourselves what parallel lines are. When we talk about parallel lines, what do we mean? Catherine? Lines that will never intersect. Okay. Lines that will never intersect. Anthony, you getting this down? Okay. Parallel lines, lines that will never intersect. And when you have those parallel lines with the transversal, all these corresponding alternate interior, alternate exterior, consecutive interior, all of a sudden they have these relationships. Okay. This is a key point as well. I recommend put it on a help sheet. Corresponding angles, they will be congruent. Okay. Alternate interior angles will be congruent. Alternate exterior angles will be congruent. The only one that's different, consecutive interior angles, they are going to be supplementary. Okay. So 3 of the 4 relationships involve congruency. The 4th one involves supplementarism. Write that down. Okay. The geometric symbol for parallel lines are these little triangles here. You may also see kind of arrows that look like that, but just how if angles are congruent, they have an arc. If side lengths are congruent, they have the little tick marks in them. If lines are parallel, they're going to have these triangles or arrows in them. Okay, so from that information, we are able to solve for 1 and 2 in the diagram because we have that transversal and because we know the lines are parallel. Okay, which one do you want to solve for first, angle 1 or angle 2, Aiden?
Are we allowed to put the parallel arrow thing on the help sheet?
Yes, you are allowed to put the any labeling stuff, definition type stuff on a help sheet. Which angle do you want to solve for first, Joey?
Let's do the 3rd one.
Nope. Angle 1 or angle 2 in the first diagram is where we're at right now. Because the nice thing is we have options. Okay, we can go for angle 1 or angle 2 first. Which one would you like to? Do one? What is the measure of angle 1 and how do you know?
They're all the same length.
Well, angles don't have length or measure, but Kylie. Because why? Okay, we can prove that angle 1 equals 54 degrees, and no, we're not writing a proof here. I'm saying prove because these things are eligible in proofs. Okay, if we wanted to prove that 54 was congruent to angle 2, we could use these relationships here, right? But we know that angle 1 is equal to 54 degrees because of vertical angles. Okay, and then now that we know that angle 1 is 54 degrees, how can we get the measure of angle 2? Catherine? If they were supplementary, yes. I'm asking you what the measure of angle 2 is. Okay? Bryn? Give me 2 ways that you can prove and defend that angle 2 is 54 degrees. Corresponding angles, right? Angle 2 and 54, they correspond there. How else could you do it? Arlene? With angle 1, right? Now that we know that angle 1 is 54, notice the relationship of angle 1 and angle 2. They're alternate interior angles. Therefore, they are congruent. So we've talked before about how geometry, it's like a puzzle. It all has to fit together. Okay? There are multiple ways that we can get either angle here. We could have solved for angle 2 first with corresponding angles and then solve for angle 1 with alternate interior angles. We solved for angle 1 first by saying it's vertical angles with 54 and then got angle 2, either with alternate interior angles from angle 1 or directly with corresponding angles from the given angle 54. Okay? Lots of different ways to go about here. Angle 2 is equal to 54, and we did both corresponding and we did alternate interior angles as reasons why. Okay? The second diagram. What do you want to go for first, angle 1 or angle 2? Just be prepared to defend your answer. Max, what is the measure of angle 1?
85.
And how'd you get that?
Is that right?
It is. And how'd you get that?
Interior angles are supplementary.
Yes. So remember I talked about the two that are going to be tricky are the corresponding angles and the consecutive interior angles because they kind of have similar, they look similar, right? The difference is, you know, this angle 1 and this given angle 95, they're not in the same location at the vertex. 95 is kind of the upper left section, angle 1's in the upper right section. That's not the same, okay? If you look at each vertex here, okay, 95 is the upper left section of that vertex. If we go upper left in the other vertex, we don't hit angle 1, right? Angle 1's to the right. So they're not the same location. They're not corresponding angles. What they are consecutive interior angles. They're on the same side of the transversal in between our parallel lines. Okay, they're on the interior and they're consecutive on the same side. So therefore they are supplementary, and we know that because they are consecutive interior angles. Okay? They're supplementary, which means they equal 180. Again, these terms, so important. So you gotta learn them. Okay? They're so important. Angle 2, give me 2 ways. Solve for angle 2, give me 2 ways how you know. Damien.
If we pass this class, next year will we have to learn this many terms?
You will know, you'll use them again. Geometry is kind of its own math in the sense it uses algebra, but it's very different. After this class, typically comes algebra 2. The next class where you have a lot of terms is probs and stats, because there's a lot of probability type terms and statistical terms. Some form of it, yes. Yeah. Damien, did you have an answer for angle 2?
Yes.
What is it?
It is. I think it is. They are 1 and 2 are congruent, so that means that it would be 85.
1 and 2 are not congruent. Lexi.
95.
It's 95. Give me one way that you know that, Lexi. How'd you come up with that?
180 minus 85, and also it's not congruent. It's, I don't know the word, but it's something to that other angle.
To the given angle?
Yeah.
Okay. So first you said 180 minus 85. 1 and 2, they're not congruent, but they do make a what? They make a line, so therefore they are a linear pair. Okay? So one reason why this equals 95 is that it's a linear pair. It's supplementary with angle 1. The second reason, as she said, was it does have that relationship, alternate interior angles with the given angle 95. So it is congruent to the given angle 95 because of alternate interior angles. Okay? And again, the beauty of this is if you forgot what alternate interior angles were, you could still get there if you knew what a linear pair is, right? If we had solved for angle 2 first, because you forgot what consecutive interior angles were, you could get angle 2 first and then linear pair it with the angle 1 there. There's so many different ways to get there. That's the nice thing about geometry. Joey?
Do you have to put both of those to get it right on the test, or can you put one?
If I ask for both, you need to put both, but I think I only asked for one. I'm just giving you both because, you know, some people like multiple ways. Claire?
Could you use the consecutive interior angles to solve for angle 2?
Not for angle 2, because the relationship with that 95 is, I mean, okay, I shouldn't say that. If you go a really roundabout way, you could. Because this angle is 95, you know this one is 85 because it's a linear pair with the 95. And then you could use consecutive interior angles here to get angle 2. So not directly, but you could get there. You could. Anthony.
You answered my first question, but I have a second question. Is this some rare type of paper that can't be glued together?
Sorry?
It took me a few tries to glue the paper together.
Why would you want to glue the paper together?
So I can flip through easier.
But how are you going to go back and like make help sheets and stuff?
So I don't need PO1.
Third one. Go ahead and solve for angle 1 and angle 2 on your own. And make sure you have a reason why, not just because it looks that way, but an actual geometric, mathematical, proof-worthy reason why. In the third diagram, you're solving for angle 1 and angle 2. If you're done with that, go ahead to the fourth one, X, Y, and Z. 3 angles to solve for there. And if you're really feeling like you got this down, you can go on to the section below where you're solving for X and Y based on these relationships. But if you're not there yet, don't worry about it. We'll go over some together. All right, who's got angle 1 and who's ready to explain how they got it? These hands are great. Anthony!
Angle 1 equals 135 degrees.
Why, Anthony? Corresponding angles. Excellent. Okay. If you look at the two vertices here, right? Angle 1 and 35, if you kind of draw up to the right, that's where 135 is. If you go up and to the right from the second vertex, that's where angle 1 is. They're the same location. Therefore, they're corresponding. Therefore, they are congruent. How about angle 2? Ooh, this is great. Who am I calling it? Noah.
I got 45 degrees because angle 1 and angle 2 make a linear pair.
Yes, angle 2 is 45 degrees because of the LPP, the linear pair postulate. LPP stands for linear pair postulate. Linear pair postulate. That means that two adjacent angles that make a line are supplementary and therefore add to be 180. No? Doesn't ring a bell? It's from PO7, I think. Something like that. CO6, PO7, somewhere around there. X, Y, and Z. Who's got one? And tell me why. Lexi. Vertical. Arlene, give me one.
Angle Z equals 106 because linear pair.
106 because of the linear pair postulate. And Bryn, give me angle X.
74 degrees because of alternate interior angle.
All right. Good stuff. So angle X is 74 because it's alternate interior angles with the given angle, right? Opposite side of the transversal in between the parallel lines. Angle Z is 106 because it's a linear pair with the given angle. What? Angle Y, we use vertical angles. Or it's also a linear pair with angle Z. Okay? Or it also corresponds with angle X. That's another way to get there. Arlene. Yep. Angle X you can get from alternate interior or corresponding. Or once you get Z, you can get X from angle from consecutive interior angles also. right? There's so many different ways to get to these angles. Once you get more information, the avenues you can go just like floodgates open up. It's a beautiful thing. Okay? Questions on anything we have here? Joey, Christopher, Catherine. What's that? The wise old owls? Yes. Yes. You can put key points, not Mr. Heavy Pencils. On the previous page? Or you can put anything in here on a help sheet. On PO17. On CO18. Like here? Oh, yes. That's fine. Anything that's under a key point is okay for a help sheet. Okay, Damien, sit flat, please. Turn around. Okay, Christopher, turn around. Okay, back at it. Looking at where you, ooh, that doesn't look fun. Looking at where you solve for x and y, kind of more of the same here. Are there any of these three that you want to do together? All of them have an x and a y. You've got to solve for x and y for each of them. Sophie, what would you like to do? What do you mean label the? So you have to solve for x and y. X isn't an angle, so for that one you would just do x equals. For angle y, since it is the angle, I guess you could do either. You could do y equals, or you could do angle y equals. But for x, since it's not the full angle, it's just the variable within the angle, then x equals would be fine there. That's a good question, actually. That's a thoughtful one. Okay, Ellen, Joey, shush. Yeah. Middle one, very well. So you've got x and y here. What can we already determine? Catherine, what can we determine?
I was just gonna say, you can do 5x minus 17 equals 48.
And why are we allowed to do that?
Because of interior alternate, yeah, that one.
Alternate interior angles. Okay, that relationship tells us that these two angles are congruent because of their position, because of their location, their relationship. Therefore, 5x minus 17 is equal to 48. From there, you're just solving a standard two-step equation for x. Aiden.
Do you want me to do for y or for x?
For y.
Y equals 132 because of consecutive interior angles.
Okay, there is a relationship between our given angle 48 and the y. They are in between our parallel lines, so they're on the interior, and they're consecutive, meaning on the same side of the transversal. Therefore, this is the one where their relationship is supplementary. Okay, it's supplementary. So if 48 is given and they're supplementary, that means that 180 minus 48 will equal angle y, which is 132 degrees. And then because of that consecutive interiorism. Claire.
So after I solved like the problem thing, I got 3, but that does not sound right.
For x?
Yeah.
Yes, I would agree. So you add 17 to 48, and you get 5x equals 65, and then x would equal 13. Yeah.
So would angle 5x minus 17 just be 48?
That's what the angle measure equals, yes. But if we want to solve for x, we want to know what value for x makes that true. So x would be 13. The angle measure is 48 degrees, but we set this equation up to solve for x to make it 48 degrees. Okay. Ellen. There's no question that I asked, no. Were you going to try and answer a question you didn't know what it was?
Okay, so what I was gonna ask, so would X be 30?
It is. Damien, sit flat. Yeah. Okay, your assignments for Thursday. Ooh. Yes.
For the last one, is X gonna be the angle or is it just the variable?
X is the variable. The whole angle is 2x. You are going to do on page 157.
Yeah, you said 2.
Wasn't the word?
The number 2.
No, I didn't even say no. It's still no.
You did?
9 through 20, comma, 22 through 24.
More than 8. Mr. Schultz, you said that you were only going to give us 8 questions.
I did not say that.
Yeah, you did.
No, I did not.
Yeah, we said that a while ago.
That is not the case. That's all. 9 through 20, 22 through 24. Due on Thursday. Tomorrow, you just have the bell ringer to log into and do.
Oh, he didn't push your work. Let's go.
Folks, 3, 2, 1. You are quiet. Second warning for you, sir. This is due on Thursday. Okay, tomorrow, just make sure you get into Google Classroom and do the bell ringer at some point. It'll be retakeable as many times as necessary. Noah, I'm still teaching. Warning for you. I'm not done yet. Lexi. Yes, finish the page as well as from the book. Was that your question too, Ellen? Yeah. Very good. That's how you math.